Thank you for joining me for another quick hits conversation. Today, I would like to talk about what does it mean to thrive versus survive. Rowley, can you go first?
Sure. So thriving for me is, especially in a work context, is going to work, not dreading the day, actually the day flying because you're having so much fun, you're engaged, you're getting through stuff. Whereas surviving is you're almost dreading the next email, phone call to hit your desk, almost bordering on massively stressful. I think probably the last 18 months for most people in COVID has been about surviving, and just trying to figure out where to go next. And so that's how I differentiate the two.
Okay.
I love to think of thriving as if it's in a work context, it's something that you would want to do even if you weren't being paid for it, or even if you had to pay to do it. Then it would be the true sense of thriving.
I think, firstly, I think we should be wary of like success porn, as it were. Nobody's ever just doing their job and getting through life. They're all, that's like, particularly in the entrepreneur world, it's like, yeah, right, chill out, guys. I think if you're surviving, you're literally day to day. Whereas I would think that if you were thriving, then you had enough energy or resources or whatever to invest in yourself and others. There's a little bit more fat there to do things which aren't just the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, I know. So what I see a lot of the thrive, don't just survive, is in the hustle culture, where, and I see it specifically among women, maybe it's men too, but where they're just every day, they're grinding it out, they're hustling, and they're going to thrive eventually. And I think that living for tomorrow is exhausting.
There are equivalent hustles for women. It's just that Facebook don't show you those. We get the specific targeted ads, don't we? We get the I was failing as a man until I did this course, and then all of a sudden I'm thriving and my wife likes me more, and I'm surviving, and I'm a better father, and we've got this Lamborghini. Yeah.
And thriving is not just business, it's your health and it's your family relationships. And if everything is going in the right direction, then you have a lot of symbiotic kind of things happening. But one of those, just one could get out of whack. Your health goes bad, or a family member's health goes bad, or business takes a downturn, or the economy takes a downturn, and now something's out of whack. How can you get back on course? And if you're thriving, then hopefully all of these things are moving in the right direction. I think one of the challenges is just continuously expanding your knowledge, expanding your experiences, learning new skills, learning new things, even if it's just about physical fitness or your health. What can you do to do things better, faster, more efficient, whatever? So it's not always about just, how can you generate more money, but can you do it more effectively? And so, professional development, especially during COVID, was very important because we weren't getting out seeing people. We weren't doing things. So could you continue to enhance your skills and continue to grow and learn? And if you did, then I think you came out much better on the back end.
I think it's really interesting on the survive piece where it sounds like you equate grind across in the US with thriving, because I hear the word grind and it's more about surviving. To me, that's like it's hard work, I've got to, as opposed to, right, I'm actually loving this, and like Rick says, everything's in balance, and you're able to go and get your fitness and get your steps in, or have that coffee with someone who lifts your spirits, and you're able to share and impart some love, knowledge, or just listen, as opposed to that, actually, you know what, I just don't have the time, I've just got to focus on what I need to get done to get a report out or get the books done or whatever, just because I just need to grind out the day. So I found that use of language also really, really telling around the difference between the two.
Do you think there's an unreasonable expectation of what thriving looks like? Simon, you mentioned the Lamborghini. I know I see a lot of like private jet kind of things. Is there an unreasonable expectation of what it means to thrive? And are people thinking they're surviving and just not appreciating that they're thriving?
Yes. And advertising or the as I say, the sort of the culture around, They want to sell you something, so they're trying to make you feel inadequate.
Mm.
You know, basically the pitch is you are currently surviving, and buy my thing and you will thrive.
Mm.
Whereas, in fact, possibly a more spiritual and sustainable thing might be to allow people to see how they're currently thriving with what they've got, and hence the gratitude movement and things like that. So yeah, I would.
Yeah, pressure could come internally or it could come externally. It could be family members, could be parents, it could be a spouse, could be your children. It could be people around you just saying, well, you need to do more, you need to do better, you need to make more money, you need to have a vacation home and wherever, and you don't have it, so you're not living up to the expectations. The neighbor has this, so why don't we have that? So there's a lot of consumerism pressure to succeed, and not in every culture, but certainly in the US and a lot of other Western cultures.
Yeah.
In the comparison, you're encouraged to compare yourself against other people and feel inadequate.
Yeah, I had a client once who was doing very, very well and was very frustrated because he didn't have a helicopter, because he had a friend who had a helicopter, and he was very upset about that. So I'm wondering, how do you notice if you're thriving? How do we, the four of us, how do we notice thriving in our own lives?
Well, for me, I had my own business for a lot of years, went in-house and then came back to doing my own business. I know that a lot of times I had a lot of sleepless nights. I had a lot of pressure on me. I was always kind of feeling like, what disaster could happen tomorrow, running your own business. Am I going to have enough clients? Am I going to have enough revenue? Are the clients going to pay their bills on time? Am I going to be able to pay my bills if they don't pay me? So it was just a lot of pressure. And that was kind of a survive mode many times. And then when after you get the experience and you start feeling more comfortable in what you're doing, you become, better educated and learn, different strategies and tactics on how to be a better business owner. I think that you can move from that survival mode to that thrive mode. And you sleep better, you feel more relaxed, and it's reflected in your relationships with your clients, your family, I think all the way around.
I think, am I comfortable in my own skin, as it were? Am I waking up looking forward to the day is one key part. And then, do I have the bandwidth to consider others? If I'm noticing that I'm really starting to focus down and become quite selfish with my time or resources, that's probably an indication that I'm not thriving and I need to take some action.
I think it's a sense of my own well-being, and it's quite hard to quantify. But I think it's almost like am I stressed or am I quite relaxed? And I think that's probably that's how I would see that well-being piece. And I think a lot of what both Rick and Simon have said reflect. I can relate. It manifests itself in different ways at different times of the day. I mean, and for some things, I think sometimes something seemingly innocuous can get blown out of all proportions, and actually on another day at another time after my coffee, it would have just been so. Yeah,
I think for me, if I have time to notice, then I'm thriving. If I'm so busy that I don't even have time to notice, then I'm probably just surviving. And that for me, people say to me all the time, you must be so busy. And my answer always is, I'm really not. And I like it like that. I have time to bike ride in the mornings. I have time to work out. I have time to eat breakfast with my husband. And those things are important to me. And that for me is a sign of thriving. And I think that it's important that we take note of that, not just the four of us, but I just in the greater cultural expanse, that take that time, because if you're not taking time, you're probably just surviving.
Yeah, I'm a big music fan. I was in the music business many years ago. I was in radio and a huge music collection. But there was a lyrics from the group Yes, which I know you're all familiar with. And there's a lyric in one of the songs that says, "Don't surround yourself with yourself. Take 2 steps back." And that to me was always something that I thought was very important, to just kind of look at what you're doing, what's important, what's in front of you, where are you going? Is this what you're doing right now really the best thing that you could be doing and the most important thing, or is it really going to have a positive payoff? And if it doesn't, should you really be doing it? Maybe you just need to walk away from it and focus your energy somewhere else.
Well, that is a great way to end it on our 10 minutes. Thanks so much for joining me for this conversation. I'm thrilled to hear that you all are thriving. And I hope you continue to do so. We'll talk again soon.